Welcome back to another video. My name's Kris Soutar, and today I'm going to be talking further about this player development pathway that we could create in tennis. So if you're new to this channel, make sure you subscribe, press your notification bell, and like and comment, share, get really involved in these videos, because I want to hear what you are up to and what your experiences have been. So yesterday, if you didn't see the video, there's a link above for that. But we're going to be looking at Utopia player development. This was what we talked about yesterday in terms of what is LTAD guidelines. That's long-term athlete development guidelines. We've got the phases from 0 to 6 activation, 6 to 9 fundamentals, 9 to 12 is learn to train, 12 to 16 train to train, 16 to 23 train to compete, 23 plus is train to win, and then after that is you're meant to be active for the rest of your life. This is a kind of literal athlete development guidelines, and unfortunately tennis has taken them and we've lost our way, in my opinion. And again, I'm not blaming anyone, I'm just kind of putting ideas out there. So I'm going to present to you a utopian pathway, and the first thing I'm going to do before I unpack this is stress that what I am talking about is not, genuinely not, giving a flying beep about what level these players get to. There is way too much emphasis on producing professional players, and the amount of investment in time and money that is going into producing potential professional players, where the end result is either they do not reach that level, or they fail and give up, or they give up halfway there. It creates a bitterness towards the game. It means that tennis becomes something that they remember and do not have fond memories of. So this is my utopian player pathway, and it's based on generic player development and overall healthy development of a player, and not giving two hoots about whether they become a professional, because that will become very evident when they get to a certain stage. We need to create opportunities. So here goes. First stage is activation, but everyone is involved. Now I'm going to really make sure that I don't go big on this to start with, so I'm just going to give you an overview. So activation, everyone's involved. Fundamentals, everyone does the fundamentals. We've got fundamentals and specific skills, 9 to 12, and again I'll unpack these in later videos. You've got game style, you've got learn to compete, you've got learn to win, and then you've got learn to use those skills everywhere else for the rest of your life. Okay, now today what I'm going to be talking about are the first two, activation and fundamentals. So here goes. Activation. So for me, the parents are the key to this section, because they will be the ones that spend the vast majority of the time with their children. So if you've got that opportunity to help educate the parents or show them ways to play with their kids, to develop just a love for movement, running around and just playing, what you can do is offer parent and child sessions at your club. That could be parent and toddler sessions, whatever you want to call them, but put sessions on where you actually take the parents on the court or in a hall or in any space with their small children, and you show them really cool, fun ways that they can play with their kids to help them develop the absolute basics of physical literacy skills. And really invest a lot of time and effort in creating a family environment in your club. Now you might be thinking, we only have essentially a shed, but do whatever you can to make that shed as family orientated as possible. Think of things like doctor surgeries. When I take my kids to the doctor's surgery, there is a small corner where the kids play. And there's maybe a handful of toys and they will go straight to there. There's a table with magazines on it. So all the parents sit and we read magazines. There's maybe tea and coffee or water or whatever, but there needs to be something that people feel that they can chill out and relax there. So try and think of ways about making the environment that you have as family orientated as possible. So that's 0 to 6. So that just get everyone active, and it might not even be in a tennis environment. It might be through schools or leisure centres or other associations like Boys Brigade, if they still do Boys Brigade, Scouts, Girls Guides, all that kind of stuff. Just really get people active, okay? Then you might entice them to try your sport at your club. Fundamentals, help them learn informally. Now what I mean by that is don't teach them. When you're working with little kids, so this is like that 6 to 9 years old, some people, if you think about the stages in tennis, you've got, at 6 to 9, you've got red and orange and then them going into green. So you've got 3 stages in there. In my opinion, we are, we are treating young children like they're mini pros, or we're trying to teach them tennis specific skills way too early. We need to get the fundamentals. Now, the fundamentals are making sure that they are able to read a ball. Can they judge an incoming ball? Can they be on balance when they are moving to the ball, when they're hitting the ball, when they are moving back from the ball? Are they in control of their arms, their body, and their leg? Can they control that little ball and make it go wherever they want? If they leave at 9 years old and go to this next hypothetical stage, they need to be able to do those things really well. Can they hit both sides equally as competently? Forehand, backhand, different heights of shots. Can they hit volleys? Can they hit overheads? Can they hit overheads on the other side of their body, on that backhand side? Can they do all the fundamentals of the game? Can they choose what they want to do with that ball? Can they make simple decisions about, or understand space about, where's the opponent, right? Where do I need to be? Where do I want the ball to be? These are the absolute fundamentals. So if we could click our fingers and make everyone have these basic fundamental skills of tennis, the fundamentals of tennis, not the fundamentals of just the movement, then we would have a much more healthy environment where people would be able to do or play this amazing game that we've got called tennis. But it has to be done informally, in my opinion. Don't teach them, because that's not cool. It's not, kids don't want to be taught, they just want to play. So find ways to make the game or the activity do the learning for you, and then you're there as the expert to speed up the process and drop gold dust on them in terms of advice and just pointing them in the right directions and so on. So next one, just make sure that this environment is cool, it's safe, fun, and they're with their friends. Do not underestimate the power of creating an environment where they can simply be with their friends, because that is what will attract them to coming. My daughter goes to things like gymnastics and dance and so on. She goes because her friends go. She likes the activity, but if her friends stopped going, she would stop. Yeah, so really hook onto that. Create, maybe try things where it's bring a pal day, incentives where it's like your friends try it for free, all these kind of things. It's really, really, really important. So now we've got competition. So this is where people might disagree. I've missed out. That's meant to say personal best, not person best. So personal best, I'm not going to edit that. The personal best, what that means is you create an environment where they are competitive with themselves. So that means you might do skill development competitions, it might be cooperation competitions with their partner or with other teams, but they're helping each other to be the best that they can be. I absolutely believe that if you are truly going to be a great competitor, the first person you need to be competitive with is yourself, and that needs to be in a healthy way. There's too much misunderstanding about what being competitive means. So for example, if a child loses and throws a hissy fit, quite often the coach or maybe the parent will say, oh, it's just because they're so competitive. That's not being competitive, that's being desperate. And what we need to do is create environments where our players can actually test themselves with skill, yeah, and develop those skills. And any competition that is points based, in my opinion, in this fundamental, should be teams. If I could click my fingers and make something happen, it would be I'd get rid of all individual competition in mini tennis. Wow, that's controversial. And I would replace it with teams, fixture lists like football, so that every Saturday morning your team plays against another team in a league, and it has a fixtures list from whatever time in September to whenever in maybe say March, and then we go outdoors after that. But we need to create stability, because parents want to know when things are on. They want to know how long it's on for. They want to have a sense of togetherness with their friends, and that would create a regular play. And then all of a sudden we would just, for me it seems like a no-brainer, we would have hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands of players all around the UK playing team tennis on a certain time of the week. Right, last one here is create a family environment. So again, it's not any different. If you've got players that are in that 6 to 9 age group, then offer something for the parents to do. It might even be another class. So I know one coach that I work with who, while the young ones are on, there's a class specifically for adults or parents that they can join at the same time. So they're not sitting watching or sitting gassing away. They are actually playing tennis on another court at the same time as the little kids are having fun with their friends. For me, that's a no-brainer. That's an absolute ideal situation. If not, make sure that off-court environment, again, is tea, coffee, refreshments, magazines, TV if you've got one, just a comfy environment, very friendly, warm, literally warm. Just to think of creating a family environment, because places like garden centres, I know I've spoken about this in other videos, but garden centres and farm shops, or like these places are places to go for families. They are default choices when things are at a loose end. It's raining, what we do? Let's go to a garden centre, the local farm shop or whatever, because they create family environments. So that is enough for today. I will continue in the next video to unpack the next 2 phases, and I'll keep going. It'll be a few videos by the end of it, but I must stress before I go that this is utopian. So that means that you now have the opportunity to comment below, share these, get people involved, because nothing I'm going to present in the next few videos is controversial. It's just all based on happiness, health, creating a learning and a developing environment for tennis players so that they eventually love the game of tennis. Right, so over to you. Get going, share, like, comment, and you'll see me in the next video. Okay, laters, bye bye.